Well, it's the calm before the storm here at the Property Investor Show April edition. The doors have just opened and I have come to John Howard's stand. And John, well, it's always a pleasure to see you, but we're kind of going full circle because we met here, I think it was 3 years ago now, when you were new to the scene.
Yes.
And you want, as I keep saying, you were like a breath of fresh air. I was so
nice of you to
glad
say so.
that you had come into the training space, and 3 years on, still going strong with your training and your various different courses.
Yes, absolutely, Vanessa, and I've added to the courses because I've learned about what people would like to learn more about. And most people who come on my seminars have either got some property already and want to do more, or have been on a number of courses, some good, other people's courses, and some they're slightly disappointed about. So hopefully they all leave happy.
I'm sure they do. I mean, we're at the show. There's a lot of educational resources here, but due diligence is still required. I've seen various things at many different shows that do cause me concern. They are a form of social proof, but we still want to say to people, you know, don't take it personally. Everybody has to do due diligence, no matter where they hear about something, where they see something. Even about Property Tribes, about yourself.
Absolutely.
We want people to do due diligence to understand who are the right people for them.
Absolutely. I mean, at the end of the day, no one should be worried about someone checking you out. And if you are worried about checking you out, that says it all, really. So I would say to everyone who's looking to do any sort of education, don't go spending a fortune. There's some free education out there to get you started, and then if you want to do more, there's people like myself and other people who are willing to give a day's seminar, for instance, to see whether you want to go on and do further. A day may be all you need, and a bit of support afterwards. So the one thing I would say is check out the people who are doing property deals as well as doing their training, and please don't go investing in educators who say they've got a deal for you, or they've got a deal for themselves, I should say, but they need your money to do it. If they're that good, they shouldn't need your money. That's the truth.
Well, this is what I love about you, John, because you've got the John Howard Joint Venture Fund. You're not trying to borrow money off people. You're actively trying to lend money to legitimate people and projects, aren't you?
Yes, I mean, not even really lend. It's a joint venture, so we're happy to put the money in. If people bring us a deal that's good enough, we'll organise the funding 100%. The only money they have to put in is stamp duty and legal fees. They own the company outright. We invest into their company, and then we share the profit 50-50. The unique thing also about us is that we will oversee the project. They've got my help, they've got my surveyor's help, and my team's help to make sure the project is successful. And that helps get funding from the bank because we know what we do and we're experts in our field.
Absolutely. Well, your YouTube channel has been documenting some of your joint venture projects. I think you've got Kingston, which is now wrapped up, and
Kingston's
you've got
all finished. We've got Cardiff. We've got a number of others coming on stream. It's exciting. It's really lovely working with people who, some who have never done a development before, but others who have done developments but want to do one with us, which is great. And it's the time the length of time I've been in the industry, I only have to work with people I like, which is great. So and that has to be a two-way thing. If you don't like someone to start with, there's no point trying to work with them long term. It's not going to happen. So I'm enjoying myself at the moment.
Well, it's lovely to be around young entrepreneurs who have got that energy and wanting to, raise their game, and for you to work with them, I guess it's just as exciting for you as it is for them.
It really is, and it's inspired me to carry on, really, and give me a new lease of life. And with, shows like the Property Elevator Show, where I work with other people, and Property Graduate, which of course starts again. We start filming again in May. So anyone who's interested in having the opportunity to win the prize, which is funding of £1 million, if they can find a deal during the next 12 months to become the Property Graduate of the Year, they need to apply quick.
Yep. Well, we'll put some details about that on Property Tribes for you, of course. Now, John, you are a self-confessed propertyaholic deal junkie, aren't you? You've got many deals going on all at the same time. What sort of projects are you working on at the moment?
Well, I'm Very excited that after 43 years of trying, I might be buying a deal in Scotland. So, we'll see. It hasn't gone through yet, but we're confident that it will do. And we've got another one in the pipeline as well there. So, I'm still enthusiastic. We tend to buy a lot of part finished stock, where off receivers and auctioneers. And that's really our bag in a way, because it's more complicated and we can really get stuck in and organise it correctly and get the projects finished. So that's really our focus at the moment.
Now, it is challenging times in the developing industry because obviously we've got inflation, which is pushing up prices. We've got issues with availability of the workforce, not only in terms of actual finding the trades, but also a lot of people off sick with COVID. We had somebody on Property Tribes who wanted a drive laid on an investment property, and the person that they work with, the trade that they work with, is not available until January 2023. Now, this is having a huge knock-on effect to projects if people are struggling, with price inflation, staff, etc. How are you finding it?
Well, I totally agree with what you've said there. It is a big problem. If you can buy the materials up front, and that's what we've done in Birmingham on our site there. We've bought, for the first phase, we bought all the materials up front, so we know we wouldn't be any stop, start. But now we're going on to the second phase, and we're going to be in the same position as everyone else. Build costs have gone up. You can't help that. There's no way around it. I think the materials side of things has got a little bit easier in the last couple of months, although obviously with Ukraine that can all change again. But inflation is a big worry, huge worry for the government. I was talking to a minister 2 weeks ago, and they were very concerned because it's an international problem. I don't think they believe they can control it like they could in the old days, because interest rates can only go up so much, and then it becomes a problem. So I think inflation is a big worry. I think it's much higher than the RPI, which is at 6-7%. If anyone goes and buys, building materials or food or energy or petrol, surely it's 20% plus. So that's a major problem going forward. And I think by the end of the year, all these things will have a serious effect, probably on the economy, and certainly potentially on property prices as well.
Okay, so what kind of contingency are you building into your projects? Are your margins being slimmed? How are you coping with that?
Well, I always say you need a good margin, because if something does happen like this, you're still making some money. So we work on a minimum of 30% net profit on all costs. And actually, to be honest with you, we're probably going to be looking at more than that going forward, anticipating what might happen. Now, if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. But if it does happen, at least we're ready for it.
Yeah. Well, as always, John, thank you for being a force for good and a voice of reason in the property sector, and thank you for your support of Property Tribes, and also always of your support of myself and Nick as individuals as well. We really appreciate it.
It's a two-way thing, I can assure you. It's a two-way thing.
And enjoy the rest of the show.
I will do. Thank you.